Good evening, everybody. Thank you for a special Sunday edition of Paranormal Brew. Tonight I have a long overdue guest, Ray Savino. Wonderful man. He's done lots and lots and lots for the paranormal field. Hard worker, dedicated. You can tell by, the love that his team gives him and the places he gets into. He is the founder, owner of RTL Paranormal and also Flumeri Promotions. Many of us know him, but I'm going to let him do the honors of letting us all, about a little bit about Ray before we get into all the fun paranormal stuff. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to bring Mr. Ray on. Hello.
Mama, how are you, sweetie?
How are you?
I'm doing.
So long overdue to see your face on my show.
I know, right? Long time coming.
Yes. And I'm honored. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
The honor is all mine, sweetie.
So I know you have a lot coming up, and I definitely want to get into that stuff. But just, how I like to start out, just let everybody know who's watching, where you come from and how you got into this paranormal stuff that has become a passion.
Okay. Let's see. 1990, I graduated high school from Pennsylvania. I was actually, I'm from New York, but I grew up in Virginia. But then as a kid, I was pretty much a bad kid. So I ended up in a group home in Pennsylvania. But when I graduated, I got my own place, which was walking distance from where I worked at.
That's awesome.
So at 18, I had my own apartment, and coincidentally enough, it was right next to the biggest cemetery I've ever seen. If I look out my living room window, you could see the cemetery.
Wow.
So from the get-go, as soon as I moved in, weird stuff was happening. So we used to have remember the crank windows? You have to crank them open and close. I would either open it or close it, depending on the weather, and then come back from work and they would be open.
Or closed. Right.
Or closed.
Right.
We had the old cable. So, we had I was a little bit poor, so I would have to do the hand thing, change the channel by hand on the TV. I would go downstairs to do my laundry and I come back and the TV's blaring or it's on when I know I had it off, stuff like that. And I think what was the cherry on top of the old ghosty thing was it was an efficiency apartment. So like your kitchen, living room, dining room, all was in one area. So where I had the couch, if I look to the left, you can look down the hallway.
Right.
And at the end of the hallway was a bedroom. So for whatever reason, I can't remember, it's been a long time, but the door was closed, but the light was on, and something made me look over there. And as I looked, the light underneath the bedroom door, something black went across it. So, stuff like that, or the lights turning on and off by themselves and all this other stuff. So I don't recommend it, but a friend of mine and we used the Ouija board.
Right.
Everybody has a different opinion about it. I think it's just entertainment or somewhat of a communication board if you want to go old school. But he swears he wasn't playing around. I swear I wasn't playing around. So when we were asking questions, eventually it said that it was a little boy, uh, 8 if I remember, and he called himself Toby. So back then, me and my friend, we did what young guys do. We partake in some pharmaceuticals, and we started scouring around the cemetery looking for headstones. I'm not saying that the headstone that we found was who we were speaking to, but we did find a little boy's headstone, and his name was Tobias
Oh,
from
well,
like early 1800s. Like I would say, if I remember correctly, 1810, 1811. But it said that he passed away at 8 years old. So is that the same person? I don't know. Was somebody
it sounds like it's a little, you would call, Toby is short for Tobias.
exactly? Um, was it the little boy? Was it a spirit using
Right,
the
true.
boy? I mean, that I can't tell you, but that's when I began my fascination with the paranormal. And then when the first Ghost Hunter show came out, I was living in Virginia watching it, and I'm like, my God, this is incredible. I didn't know people actually did this. Um,
Mm.
so I was, of course, like everybody else, when the show came out, I was fascinated by it, and I watched it religiously. And then from there, we moved to where I'm at now in Hampton Roads, Virginia, which is between Virginia Beach and Richmond, Virginia. Um, Come to find out, with the wonderful artifact known as MySpace, people actually had paranormal groups and went out there around here. So it took a couple of times, but the one paranormal group I joined, they were more into World of Warcraft or whatever that video game is than actually learning about stuff. So after a couple failed attempts at joining a group, I decided to form my own. And it started with me and a couple other people. One of them was from my job, and from then
But
we
how do you like back then, yeah, Ghost Hunters just came out. So Ghost Hunters kind of like opened up the door a little bit more. But it did take a couple years for it to really like spread, like people at work, like how do you drum up that conversation without feeling like people are gonna look at you like you're crazy?
well, it's just funny because where I work at, people knew about it because I was always talking about it,
Oh,
um,
okay. Oh,
and
that's
doing
cool.
stuff. So a lot of people were talking about it and stuff, and asking me questions, and some of them were telling me their stories, and that's how it happened. They were telling me their
Right, right, right.
experiences and their interest in it, and so on and so on. And then that we started RTL Paranormal in 2009, and then back then we didn't have um, the technology that we have today. So I would send like hundreds of emails a week for just that one or two people to return the email that doesn't think I'm crazy for wanting to like go some like a historical location or their house or whatever.
Right.
So from then it just kind of blossomed and more, and then where we live at, it's kind of like a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. The word got out, the name got was a little bit familiar with everybody, so we were getting more and more cases for us to investigate. And not only do we each time we investigated, we were learning more and more about investigating. We were
Yeah.
learning about different ways to do experiments. We were learning about because back then in 2009, we were just starting to learn how to use the equipment and using it
Mhm.
correctly. And then we would kind of like trial and error. And we would better ourselves each and every year. And then next thing you know, we started doing volunteer work at the military bases. They would do like Halloween events for the kids. And then from there, we started doing uh, fundraising events for for historical locations because their funding wasn't that great back then, and it's even worse now. But um, so that's how our name kind of got familiar with a lot of people around here. And then because of the fundraising events, we would do ghost hunting events where instead of them paying for a ticket, we would ask them to bring a toy for Toys for Tots or
Awesome. I
school
love that.
school supplies for the new school year, and we would take the school supplies and take it to each elementary school. We would do bring cleaning supplies and other types of supplies that women's shelters needed. Um, Clothes for the Salvation Army, like winter coats and stuff for the winter time, stuff like that. Canned goods, we did that too. So because of that, I started discovering that I enjoyed creating events because I enjoyed the results from them. People going and telling me how much they enjoyed the events and stuff. And
And I love hearing that. I love hearing you say that because you guys truly give back to the community, the people, the field. Like your heart is not motivated on, it's not motivated on like money, fame, this and that. You know what I mean? Like it's motivated on the community, giving back, helping people because that's what you originally got into it for. Like
exactly,
I'm sure your quest to find evidence of the afterworld, just like all of us we want to do. You know what I mean? But you're still giving back,
yeah,
and that's what's important.
we're still investigating places, still learning the different stuff that is out there today when it comes to experiments and techniques and stuff. And but we still do our best to help the clients, even though we're still doing a little bit more of public events. We're still trying to help clients as well at the same time,
Yeah.
doing private investigations and stuff like that.
So do
Um,
you still get private cases coming in? Yeah.
I,
Where I don't
I
know why. It's like
I
nowhere.
really think because of the whole COVID thing, people got funny about
Yeah.
having people come into the house. So we've had a dry spell. So the people in RTL and Flumeri Promotions, they other than doing our events at different locations, um, they get a niche. So they'll go and do their own thing, which is great.
Mhm.
I wish I had their work schedule so I can
Yeah.
have weekends off, but um, you know, so that's how Flumeri Promotions was created in 2020. Was March of 2020, right before COVID started. So we had a great 2 or 3 weeks, and then COVID started.
So Flumeri promotions were for like public events and stuff like that.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was a
Like you said, you
public.
were kind of an agent or something, right?
We
For
were
people.
a paranormal talent management company that also specialized in hosting and creating public paranormal events throughout the U.S. Um, I kind of weaned off a little bit with the whole management thing because there was way too many egos for me to deal
Mhm.
with. Um, there was a lot of animosity if I would make an event for a certain person to be the guest investigator. I would get a message getting yelled at for not putting them on there instead or whatever, even though I had a list to evenly make sure that everybody got the equal amount. I just got tired of not being able to please everybody. But there are a couple of people that I'll still bend over backwards for to help get Flumery promotion events or any other type of event because um, it's not about me at all.
Mhm.
If that was the case, I would be more lucrative with Flumery promotions than what I am. Uh, I have spent a lot of my own personal money to make sure that events succeeded. The guest investigators for the events got what I feel like they deserved. Um, even when there was only two or three tickets. So I really don't like canceling events. It to me, it makes me look bad. It makes,
The place.
it makes me feel like I'm reneging on an event because of whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't seem to understand that depending on where the event is, I got to pay for plane tickets. I got hotel, guest appearance fees, rental, the location rent costs. And then on top of that, if I can afford it, sometimes I'll get a couple of hotel rooms for some of the Flumeri staff and RTL people if I'm able to. If not, some of them do it on their own. They pay for their own stuff. Um,
Mhm.
if it wasn't for the family that I have in RTL and Flumeri doing stuff like that, I don't think Flumeri would be as successful as
Right.
I think it is.
Right.
Um, it's not a one person show. It's like everybody involved with Flumeri Promotions, all the people in RTL. We're a big family, and we
Yeah.
do everything together. Um, sometimes they go on vacations together. Sometimes they go travel and ghost hunt a location, just them. If I'm able to, I will uh, find places for them to investigate, and then if the money's right, I'll pay for the rental cost for them to go.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's been a while, but I mean it's been done before. So I love everybody in Flumeri. There was a time in my life where it was a low point. Like I didn't want to do Flumeri. I didn't want to like leave the apartment. I had personal things going on, and
Hmm.
if it wasn't for the people in RTL and Flumeri, I don't think I would have been able to mentally get through that obstacle. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, we've been since 2020 when Flumeri was created. We've been everywhere in New York, West Virginia. We've been to Arizona, not Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. We've been to Texas. We've been to Kansas. We've done Kentucky before. So we've been. I'm excited how stuff happens, and I don't like. It's okay to have like because in the beginning of Flumer, we were doing one event every weekend, if not two events each weekend at different locations. I'm okay with one or two events a month now. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not trying to um sh- I don't know, show off is the word, but like
Yeah.
uh overcompensate, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I think the locations is the most important part of the whole entire event, not who is your guest investigators. However, there are some that um I'm very excited to work with. But in the past, it's not about, I mean, yes, it is kind of like who you have there, but it's actually the main celebrity, if you want to use that word, in an event is the location.
Right.
And it's not just about the location, and it's about how you make the event memorable for the guests that attend. Um,
Absolutely.
so with me and Flumery, uh, I learned a lot from my father growing up. I watched him uh, do his thing with because he owned a couple construction companies, and the way he treated his employees, the way uh, him and his friends interacted with each other. I incorporated that kind of stuff to something I enjoy, which is the paranormal. So it's kind of like an Olive Garden thing where you when you come to a Flumery event, your family, like I want them to feel when they leave like they've known us forever. Um,
Right.
I want them to have memories. I want them to have a smile on their face, knowing that they're going to be coming back. And I had still have people from like 3 or 4 years ago still messaging me as friends. In fact, a lot of the um, places that we've done events at, we've been friends ever since, social media and stuff like that. Um, and I think that speaks a lot more than the amount of events you have put out there.
Absolutely.
Um,
Having that, rapport with locations, clients, with your team, you
yep,
know what I mean? Because you can talk to so many people that are involved with teams or this or that, and there's just always some inner stuff going on, but being an outsider looking in, because I know some of your team members, and they are some good, solid people, you
they
know what I
are.
mean? And it trickles down, like, it starts at the top, no matter what you're doing, you treat like family, you'll get treated like family, and everybody, you know what I mean? Like, sure, you're gonna come into that. Maybe you have the one or two bad apples, but they usually weed themselves out because they don't have the same motivation or goals.
I'm the bad apple.
Oh, you are not.
I'm the self-proclaimed asshole.
Oh,
I'm
no, no.
proud of it.
Oh,
Um, like I have a lot of great memories with events, and it's just funny that I say that because I found this just now. I don't know if you can see it, but it
New
is
Jersey
from
Heritage. Yeah.
2018 that I still carry and still have around, and it has a lot of memories because 2018, um, I was working with Flip. You know Flip,
Yeah.
from Dead Is Not the NITC, and Flip allowed me to do a speaker event with him, and on ITC, and I thought it went great, and I was nervous because I'm not really good, and I'm not really comfortable speaking in front of people.
Mhm.
I have a crowd thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and what was great about it is one of my I call him my para idol, Ron Yacovetti at Lourdes was there.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day, I still talk to him and ask him questions and stuff because there's no such thing as having all the answers in the paranormal field. So I continuously ask him questions and stuff. And hey, Urbex, Amanda's awesome. That's one of us. She talks to me. I've never even met her before. We have conversations all the time.
I'm interested in talking with her.
She has some
I've had,
cool. She's got some cool experiences that I
yeah,
think she'd
no,
be.
yeah, I love the female urbex thing. I love it because I've had a couple of urbex males on, but I would love to have somebody on that. I'm kind of envious of her bravery to be going into
I know,
places.
right? Um,
But
so
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
like that was just what I was trying to explain earlier. I talk to people all the time, and it makes me feel good to know that um, they confide in me with
Yeah,
questions, and um,
they
uh,
trust you.
they want feedback. I try to do what I can.
Yeah.
Um, I might not I might not have all the answers. In fact, I probably don't. I'm a guy. I never have answers. And if I do, they're the
None of
wrong.
us have the answers. None of us.
But if I don't, I'll find somebody that does because everybody needs assistance in the paranormal field. It doesn't
Absolutely.
like there's no such thing as somebody who knows it all because there's
Yeah.
no such thing. There's no such thing as a professional investigator. There's no such thing. Um, you know, everybody is still learning because we don't have any answers yet to any of our questions.
Yeah. And we might have more answers now than what we did before.
Exactly. The more questions you
I mean,
ask,
more questions, not more answers.
well, the more questions you ask, the more questions you'll have. That's how I see it. And so that's what I enjoy about the events. Everybody that the majority, in fact, the majority of the people that are in RTL Paranormal and Flumeri Promotions have been former event goers. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of
That's
cool.
awesome. And that says a lot. That says a lot for you, and how and then a lot of, and I feel like most of these people on your team have been with you for a long time. Like, there's no big revolving door. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have all kind of been, you've had the core people for a really long time.
They have put up with me for so long, and for that I'm forever grateful, and I'm glad that I still, they're still around because it's fun watching them investigate and watching them lead groups and events and watching them investigate because every time I watch them, they get better and better, and they have surpassed me a long time ago.
Oh,
I'm more of my responsibility at an event is pretty simple. During the events, I review the audio that they record during their sessions because I think that if I'm able to find something pretty cool during the event and I have the guests hear it, they're going to get excited and they're going to want to investigate more or they want to come to the
right.
next event. Um, and
So
plus,
you're listening real time?
yeah. Well, they do the sessions and then they give me their recorder and I download it into the computer. So when they go to the next session,
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
listening. I'm listening to
Okay.
the first round. So and not only do I enjoy doing that for them, I love reviewing audio. I mean, that's one of
Yeah,
my
me too.
things to do. So to be able to capture something for them to and watch their face when they hear it and
Mhm.
not I don't like feeding them too much information about it, but if I hear something and they hear it and they say what I heard, I look at their face and their face lights up and they're smiling and they get all excited and now they want to learn more. They want to investigate more. They want to come to the next event. Sometimes even want to join the
Yeah.
RTL and stuff. That is what makes me continue doing this. I don't mind.
You have it open where people can apply to be a part of RTL, or you kind of have it like closed?
Right now, we have 13 people.
Hmm.
Um, Now, and I've thought about this for years, but I didn't want to steal Jody's spotlight. Jody from SOS Paranormal has
Yeah.
the teen summer camp.
Hmm.
What I was thinking about this for a few years now, and we actually have a couple of one of our team members, their kids come to the investigations all the time.
Hmm.
Um, I thought about having a junior RTL Paranormal where they get to learn stuff from the investigators, and not just investigating. I want them to learn how to do all of it, which involves. See, this is the thing. I want them to learn stuff that they hate doing in school, but doing it in a way that they enjoy it. So
Right.
I want them to learn how to interview clients, public speaking. I want them to do research. So they're going to be learning how to take notes and all that other stuff, that stuff that they don't like doing in school.
Yeah.
Uh, I want them to do a presentation of what they learned, what they researched. I want them to be able to do a client reveal. I
Hmm.
want them to learn all this stuff, and then if they're doing phenomenal, doing all that stuff, I'll let that group of kids run an event or not run an event, run an investigation.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to do.
that would
Um,
be awesome.
but I didn't want to take away from Jody's thing because Jody's thing is phenomenal. I was a mentor for um, once or I know once, but maybe two times. 2 years and 2 years I've done it. But the first one I think was the most memorable for me because we were at Penhurst. Now this was before all the other buildings were open to everybody, but it was phenomenal to watch these kids investigate and learn or take what they've learned and use it during their sessions. Like I was
Yeah.
sitting back and I was just watching and I was smiling because they were actually doing, and you could tell they were enjoying themselves doing it. Um, so that was cool to watch, and I think that's where I came up with me wanting to do a junior group. Hasn't been done yet, but I
And
know.
thankfully, I mean, you've been to a lot of these places where you know where it's kind of, and when I say safe, I mean just like
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
lighthearted. You know the places that you can take kids, and you know where the places where it's kid friendly too. Where it's not too scary, and this and that. When I say scary, I mean sometimes things to little kids, as we know because we were little kids at one point. Sometimes things are scarier when you're smaller and you don't know that much.
Exactly. I mean, there's places where it's going to be um, like a spirit of a mother or something, kind of low key. I'm not going to take the kid to like Penhurst or not Penhurst, Waverly Hills or so like a
Right.
Ohio Reformatory or whatever. I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. But like,
Yeah.
I want them to be able to um, learn and kind of take what they've learned and tweak it into something that is comfortable for them. So when they start doing private homes and they're able to identify the situation, I want them to be able to figure out how to debunk. I want them to make sure that what they capture is actual evidence. I want them to go and drop the ego, and if they can't help the client, find somebody who's more seasoned to help the client with you, because it's all about the client, not ego is not even like on the list at all, in my opinion.
No.
Ego is ego is annoying.
And it's fluent in the field, but
What, are you serious? i
so
have, I have no idea what you're talking about, lady.
that sounds like a fun thing, and yeah, I do give Jody credit because having a summer camp for stuff like that,
And to
you know,
like have the kids
hey,
stay with them and the other moms, and
yeah,
it's like it's a lot of work, and people don't seem to.
yeah,
I mean, I see it because I've known Jody for a while, but like a lot of people don't see it, or they kind of frown upon the kids learning. But like, how are you going to learn? You can't.
right,
You know what I'm saying? If you start now as a kid, by the time you're my age, which is 125, you're going to be able. You're going to be able to um, figure out ways to investigate. You're going to see things that you weren't able to see when you were younger, like when you're
yeah.
investigating. I don't know if that makes
Well,
any
and
sense.
and let's be honest. I mean, the people that say like, "Oh, frown on you for kids," you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we know now that like the demon side of things is, if at all, it's rare. You know
Well,
what I
hell,
mean?
I mean,
Like, I
hell,
mean,
Chip Coffey had that TV show about psychic kids. So, like, I think kids at a certain age, their slate is still open,
innocent.
but yet
Yeah,
it's depending on what age they are, that slate is also getting, that door is also closing, if that makes
right.
sense.
For sure. Yeah, because they're asking questions, they're learning, they're school and education, and kind of like goes, messes with your brain, but
Right.
um, also there's this. We tend to put age limits on ghost stuff, and why? I mean, if if the kid, like, in 2 weeks I'll be in Gettysburg and I'm bringing my 13-year-old niece with me. I call her, she's my peach pit. You
Uh-huh.
know, she, she wants to learn. I sign the waiver for her. You know what I mean? I'm responsible for her. But I know she's in a good space where she's not like she's not going to go home and be scared to sleep for like 3 weeks because we did a ghost hunt. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, when I did Penhurst with Jody and the kids, um, I brought my son. I forget how old he was. He might have been 11 or 10. Because he had a brief period where he was into the paranormal, so I brought him with me. That seemed to be a horrible idea because he's a good-looking kid, and she had a bunch of girls, and
oh,
so um, yeah, he was blushing like at least a week after we came back home. So,
that's
but like, but for a while he was into it. I think I think what kind of took him out of the paranormal was we had an event at this place called Beacon Theater. Um, we had a spirit by the name, we call them the Butcher. I'm not going to say his real, but I'm not going to say his real name, but there's actual evidence of a doctor who performed illegal abortions.
Hmm.
The theater used to have a medical building next to it, which now the theater owns. So they extended the theater. So
Okay.
that part of the theater is now like dressing rooms and stuff for the acts. We were having a session and we were in the dark in one of the dressing rooms, and I saw a white ball of light flying around, and then it went straight into my son. Um, then my son said he needed to leave the room because he didn't feel right, and his shoulder was hurt. So I took him outside to the hallway, pulled up his shirt. He had scratches. He had three scratches on his shoulder. And I think that was it for him. He was done after that.
Oh, you're scared, yeah.
So
Which is a
after
shame because that doesn't necessarily mean that it was something negative. It just, you know what I mean? And
he
so
was trying to
I,
get his attention, but he's
I
being
get
a
it.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So between the girls flirting with him and the scratch on his shoulder, yeah, I think he was done with paranormal.
He's like,
But
this is overload.
a little bit overload. But he's a great kid, and he's now 18. So yeah, he's doing great too. So and what's cool about it, he thinks it's kind of like my youngest, who's 10. To me, I think it's cool because I have a video of it. My little kid seeing me a few years ago on a morning show that I was just grabbing all the equipment. I had all the equipment there and everything. A local morning show, and he was all excited to see me on TV. And little stuff like that makes me feel good because um, as they get older, I'm going to be the most uncoolest person in their life. You know, so to have those little moments like that where he's like excited to see daddy on TV and stuff, that's something fun for me because now I have a memory of my own.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that uncool list only goes for like a couple years, and then you start to become cool again, and then they want to, the older they get, then they want to hang out with dad again. You know.
I'm sorry, have you seen his face? This is not cool no matter what age. But so that's how I started having a passion in the paranormal and how I became fascinated with doing events, and that's how Flumeri promotion started. Um, since then, we've had tons of events all over the place. I did one. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Her name is Christy Ayers. The Paranormal Gypsy is what her
Okay.
title is, and we did an event at Virginia City um, at the Washoe. That one was probably the coolest event because for me personally because it was the first time um, I ever did an event where I was the. It was weird because I was the guest investigator.
Mm.
I don't. That's kind of odd for me. And then knocking something off my bucket list like the Washoe Club was a cherry on top for me. The
What's the
fact that
Washoe Club? What's the Washoe Club?
the Washoe Club it's in Virginia City. It was a mining town.
Hmm.
So the Washoe Club was like a private club for the well-to-do. They had bankers and investors go up there and just and spend time at the Washoe Club, and they would have uh, ladies of the night or their side bay come over
Yeah,
there. They would do private. They would
Goomba.
have, yeah, the Goombas. How you doing over
How you
here?
doing?
So they would have like poker games and stuff like that. It was just like a private club, and a lot of shit went down in that building, and during the mining days and stuff. And actually, to be honest, I think that whole main strip where all the bars and saloons are, um, I think the whole place is haunted. To be honest, like they had Nick Groff did some episodes up there, and I think Zach Bagans did as well because Zach Bagan and Nick Groff's pictures are everywhere up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it is a very cool place, and I would love to book it again. It's just it was great because what was cool about it was in the summertime, but like at the bottom it was hot. But like when you go to the top, you see like mountains with snow caps. Like I'm a city boy, so to
yeah.
see stuff like that was kind of cool. And she Chrissy drove me so I can say that I went to California because it was only like a couple hours to hit the California line. So then I can like I went to a California little beach. This stuff like that. Those are the memories that I enjoy about paranormal stuff. It's not just about ghost hunting to me.
Right.
It's about the locations. It's about the people that you become friends with. It's the memories you make with these people. It's the conversations you have. It's just I don't know. It's a little bit more personal to me than
Yeah.
just
No,
uh,
I feel you.
ghost hunting and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
that was a cool event. The bad part was I spent $700 or lost $700 at the casino, but
Oh
whatever.
boy, yeah, no burn. Oof.
Yeah, that was no fun. But anyway, it was fun.
So, do you have a place that you frequent often or help often with events? Like, have you developed any close relationships with any locations where you go back and you help them out a lot?
Um, where I live at, we have a lot of historical societies that we work with. We have Chesterfield where we do events. You might, if you remember some of the events we had, Magnolia Grange, we had Castlewood, we had historic jail. Um, these places that we do events at, um, the historical society makes the money. We're just kind of like the hired help. So the ticket buyers or the people that buy the tickets, they're buying it from the historical society, which is great
That's
because
awesome.
the money goes back to them. And we also work with Berkeley Plantation, which is
Ooh,
Berkeley Plantation. If have you ever seen the movie Harriet about
no,
Harriet? There was a movie that was done a few years ago called
remember,
Harriet.
I never saw it.
Great movie. The majority of that movie was filmed at Berkeley Plantation.
Really?
So that when we first when I first was able to get um, an appointment to sit down with Berkeley Plantation to see if they will allow us because they were burned before by another a TV show. I'm not going to say who, but that they did stuff they wasn't supposed to do and left a bad taste at Berkeley Plantation's mouth to the point where they didn't want any paranormal groups there. Um, so when we went over there, she took us on a golf cart and showing us around, and they showed us the film, where they were filming. They had all the tents and all the trucks with all the filming equipment. They built props like they built the slave quarters, which after they were done filming, they donated it to Berkeley Plantation. So
Oh wow.
the slave quarters has a couple. Each building has a plaque of a list of all the names of the slaves that worked on the plantation, and we have a few regular spirits that come and go that have been captured on audio. There was one when Mustafa did an event for us, Mustafa Gadalari, um, where we were in the carriage house, and there's a couple of doors, and we asked is if there's anybody here, please make your presence known. I said you can scream as loud as you can. You can bang on one of the walls if you open one of the doors. The next thing you know, you hear the doorknob jiggle on the door, and the door opens like three inches by itself. Everybody was like, stuff like that, to the point where it scared the employees at Berkeley Plantation that they sealed the door shut now.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
and we also work with Smithfield, Virginia. We Isle of Wight Museum. We do Windsor Castle in Smithfield, Virginia. That's right. Nick Beckner. He's my oldest son. He's a photographer, and he was there taking photos for me, and took photos of blue lights in the trees
Oh, wow.
at night. Yeah, if you guys, he lives in Pennsylvania, so if you guys need professional headshots done of the peaches, or if you guys want to use them for events and stuff,
Yeah.
message him, and he would love to do it. Hey, Victor Scott Johnson, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Uh, so
So,
we do have a couple of events lined up. Um,
all right.
we were supposed to have one yesterday, but schedule conflicts and stuff. So we're going to reschedule it for a later date. I'm thinking 11 November 1st and 2nd. And the reason why I want to do it in November, but I want to do it for next year.
Hmm.
Uh, and the reason why I want to do November 1st and 2nd is it's the Day of the Dead. So
Right.
Dios los Muertos. So I want to do it for that. I want to make it so it's memorable and fun for everybody, not just have speakers, but I want to have like all sorts of stuff going on. I want, person with the best uh, makeup on, do the
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
win prizes. I want to do all sorts of stuff, not just a speaker event where people listen to people speak and investigate. That was the other thing. Speaking of speaker events, everybody's doing ghost hunting events, and
Hmm.
that's great. Everybody loves ghost hunting, but I want people, like, I started thinking about this, and I was talking with a lot of people in Flumeri and RTL. Um, I think the people that go to these events, I think they would be interested to not only hear from the seasoned investigators about their experience and stuff, but I want them to also learn from them too.
Hmm.
So what better way to do that than by having more educational events?
Yeah.
We did that a few weeks ago at the abandoned high school in Goochland, Virginia. We had Ron Yacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez. We had Reverend Father Ken Torres from the Warren Legacy Foundation, and
Hmm.
we had Steve Dills there, founder of Transcend
Love
Paranormal.
Steve. I love Ron and Lourdes, and I love Steve. Like they're
They're
great people.
they're awesome, and they did such a phenomenal job that I want to do more of these events. It
Yeah.
was a great turnout, and then after the speaking portion of the event, um, the people that learn from these speakers now get to take what they've learned and investigate with the speakers. So they get, not only do they learn from them speaking, but then they also get hands on. Um,
Yeah.
so and
The
it was such a
group
great.
that I started with did that. Like I learned that way. Like when we would have events at places, Halloween, we had events every weekend during the Halloween season. And what we would do, we had already investigated these places. So we had like EVPs and we had like whatever. So
Right.
like people would come in, there'd be different sections. So like the first one, they would come in and they would like, sit down. We'd have a group of 25 or 20. They would sit down and they would be listening to like an equipment demonstration, and then they would move to the next section and it would be a video of our group's history, like the EVPs we've captured or
Yeah.
photos.
And
Then they
then
would go and they would pick up some equipment and we would do a little mini ghost hunt. You know what I mean? And then, so those were so fun to me. I miss
well,
doing
that's what happened. I started watching this
that.
event
Yeah.
in awe, and I was so excited for it that I want to do more of those kind of events because it's you're still getting to investigate,
Yeah.
but you're also going to learn something as well, and that's what I think is missing from these public events.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so if I can somehow, Hold on. my my son Nick is being funny. He said you got some light reflecting off your head.
You got a shiny head.
I bet you said that to all the boys. uh, but I think that is what's missing from the events. I think, I mean, ghost hunting is great, but if you don't know how to use the equipment, every little ding, every little light that lights up, every cat ball that lights up, and whatever, um, you're just gonna like jump to conclusions. I
Sure.
want them to have fun, but I also want them to learn what they're doing too. And
Right.
I think the last event I had with those guys, I think was a great start, and I want to do more of those kind too, and then venture off into different stuff. Like sometimes I don't even like. Sometimes I'm thinking about non-paranormal events. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking of a speakeasy, not
Oh, that's
just like,
cool.
but like an authentic one where like like when you buy a ticket, you get like a certain code that you have to like say at the door, and like
Yeah, that would be cool.
the doorman would be like moving. All you see is their eyes, and you say the code, and they'll close it and open the door, and
Like a
yeah,
masquerade party.
exactly.
That would be cool.
So there's a few things. I also want to do an appreciation event where thank everybody that come to the events and stuff, and have like a DJ and have it catered and like a free event. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So I think I think those would be good. Now, speaking of educational events, I do have one coming up in November. Actually, I have a couple of events. Let's start off with October. October 19th, we're going to be in Gordonsville, Virginia. Now, the top two most haunted locations in Virginia is, of course, St. Albans Sanitarium, and the second one is the Exchange Hotel and Civil War Medical Museum. That's
I would
so.
love to get in there.
So October 19th, that's where we're going to be, and we're going to have guest investigator Mark Higgins from the TV show R.I.P. Files.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. I love
So,
Mark.
so what's great about this event now is not only do they now that Mark is on, part of the event, people are going to be able to learn from Mark. He's going to share his experiences, his stories. If anybody knows the Exchange Hotel, it's Mark. Mark knows it like the back of his hand because he's only like 20 minutes. He lives 20 minutes away from it, if I'm not mistaken.
I've been trying to get him to come on here.
You've been trying to get Mark?
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm friends with him, but like he's hesitant. He's a little. He's
I'll
being
have I'll have
he's
my
being a little
people.
shy.
I'll have my people call his people. We'll do one.
He's being shy. He's like,
He's
I
a
hope he
good
likes it.
guy. We actually the first time I met Mark, this was during COVID too, and it was crazy because we were at the exchange and I had an educational event. It was a speaker event. So we had Steve Dills there. We had Mark Higgins, and and Dr. Don.
No, Don Molnar, Haunted
Yeah,
MD.
and I think somebody else was there, but those three I remember. And because of the COVID guidelines and stuff, everybody had to sit outside, like with the
Oh,
chairs all spread. But it was like January, and we had such a great turnout.
oh, that's
Like it
good.
was crazy, like to have people there in like winter coats and masks and
Well,
hats.
think about it. Nobody was allowed to do anything.
And I know, so
You know,
it was great that we were able to. Um,
I tell you what, you probably helped a lot of people out more than you realize you helped people out around that time
well,
because
we
people were going mentally stir crazy and like it was just so crazy, right?
well in Virginia, it was. I'm a little bit of a rebel, so like it was cool to find a loophole in the
Yeah,
guidelines.
yeah.
so, so we kind of tiptoed on the guidelines a little bit and found that loophole. We were able to do it. So
That's awesome. So what do you guys have coming up? Because so you said October 19th is the Exchange Hotel with
with Mark
Mark.
Higgins.
Okay.
Now, the one, like, I'm excited for that one, but the one I'm really excited because I've never got to do this before. So, November 1st and 2nd, it's a 2-day event. We're going to be in Bardstown, Kentucky, at the Jailer's Inn. Now, uh, people that are going to be able to investigate this place, but they're not doing it alone.
Hmm.
They get to investigate with Brandon Alvis, Mustafa Gadolari, Kevin Oddie, and Craig Owens from the TV show Haunted Discoveries.
Awesome.
That's going to be amazing because Haunted Discoveries is pretty much the hottest show around right now.
Hmm.
And I've always wanted to do this ever since they were on Ghost Hunters. I thought it would be a great idea for people who love Haunted Discoveries,
Hmm.
that love the locations that they do, that they investigate. What better way to investigate these locations for these people is to investigate with the people that actually investigated the place that from their favorite TV show.
That would be cool. I would do that with Ghost Hunters. You know what I mean? Ghost Hunters went to, you know what I mean? Awesome place. I would love that. That would be really cool. Good idea.
I thought that would be great, and I thought, well, you can't do just one night. You have to have a 2-night event. So, and people can rent. The rooms are they're half full now, but they can rent rooms to stay the night. I'm I don't get to go to my events outside of Virginia that often, so I'm going. This like
Right.
I'm calling off. I'm calling dead. I don't care. I'm going.
The
So
Day of the Dead. I'm dead. Peace
that's
out.
right. So when I set up the event and I spoke with the person that ran the Jailers Inn, he was asking me, "Are you going to need a room?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "Well, which room do you want?" I said, "Well, what do you have? What's the most haunted?" And he told me the room number, and I'm like, "Well, that's the one I want." And he's like, "That's the one you get." So I'm going to have the most haunted room for the 2 days of that event. So we'll see what happens.
You gonna leave a video camera on?
that's that's for OnlyFans. That's a whole different show. That's for people that have like a beluga whale kink or something.
Oh my god. Shut up, Ray. All right. And then do you have anything after that?
I do have something planned in December, but I haven't
Okay.
finished all the details yet. But when I do, I'm letting you know. You're gonna be the first.
Oh, awesome.
Um, so hold on. My son Nick is trying to he's trying to whore his father for his own photography business. Hold on. All right, so my son Nick, he does educational seminars as well for photography.
Oh, cool.
The man is phenomenal at what
Awesome.
he does.
I'll check to check his page out.
Uh, so he does what do you call it? Like street photography. He
Oh, cool.
does like nature stuff. He does weddings. He does professional headshots for people. Um, he's got different types of classes for you to learn to be a better photographer and stuff. So um, the man is phenomenal. I was able to have him do some of my photography in the beginning of Flumeri, professional shots and stuff, because I think um, professionally done photos is great for advertising. And
Yeah,
in my opinion, nobody does it better than my son. And that's not because he's my son, but he's actually that good. So,
that's awesome.
um,
Um, yeah, no, that's great. So where can people like find and sign up and for your events? Do they go to
so
the very page or
yep,
they go to RT
we actually have a website, www.flumerypromotions.com. So when you go
or
to the website, um,
flumerypromotions.com, right?
yep. So when you go to the website, you're going to see all the events there that are coming up. You're going to see bios of the Flumeri family, a way to um, buy equipment from one of our members, Ben. He has Builder Ben's paranormal workshop where he makes equipment. Um, Pat, Pat and her husband Dallas, they have DMP Customs Designs. They make dowsing rods. They make bracelets. They do all sorts of stuff, and it's not just paranormal stuff that they do. They make either, and it's all by hand. They do it all.
Wow, that's awesome.
You want you want decorated pillows. We have Shannon. She hand makes her own pillows for everybody. I got a bunch of her pillows in my spare room right now. Um, so like we incorporate everything, and that's what I like about the family. It's not just RTL and Flumery. It's not just I'm the founder or I'm the owner. Everybody has
An
um,
important part.
yeah, they have their own part. They have their own say, and they're doing their own thing too.
That's
Um,
awesome.
like Pat and Dallas, they have DMP Custom Design. That's their own company. Ben makes paranormal equipment. Builder Ben's Paranormal Workshop. That's his company. He's stuff like that. Like everybody is doing their own thing, but yet we're all a family still. We're still one unit. I think that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like I said, like obviously, like this is long overdue. Should I had you on a long time ago?
well, yeah,
It won't be the last. It won't be the last because I'll definitely want you to come back on, and we'll have to catch up. Um, I
maybe.
definitely want to check out one of your events at some point. You know, um, I'm in Jersey, so
Well,
uh,
I tell you what. If you can make it to the October 19th one, you can come as my guest.
oh, thank you.
But you gotta get your own hotel.
It's fine.
But yeah, if you can make it to that one, you're my guest.
All right, I will let you know.
Okay,
Definitely.
that way you can corner Mark Higgins in the corner and tell him he's got to do your show.
Yeah, I'll do it right there. All right, we're going live, Mark. Let's go. No.
And I'll help you. I'll put a K2 to his head. This,
Ray,
this was fun.
you've been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing some of that. There were some things like I wanted to, commend you. I mean, you're such a humble person. You really honestly love what you do. You can see the passion, drives you, not money and when you're going to be on TV and the fame and this and that. It's the passion that drives you. And I know that if I would feel comfortable referring anybody to your team or referring anybody to your events, you know what I mean? Because again, my integrity, it means a lot to me. So, referring people out, I have to make sure that for me personally, that the people that I'm referring them to, are going to do a good
Exactly.
job,
Exactly.
and
Now,
so
don't get me wrong. I mean, being making money is what business owners strive for,
absolutely. Oh
but
yeah.
that's not what makes a company at all.
Right. Right.
I like you said, integrity and character is what makes people come back.
Yeah.
If you don't make
Quality versus quantity. It
if you
makes
don't
a difference.
exactly if you don't make them feel like a dollar sign, then they're going to keep coming back.
Right.
So,
For sure.
but
For
definitely,
sure.
I would love to come back and do your show. No matter
Yeah.
no matter how many times you want me, I'll be there.
Awesome. Great.
Hey,
Um,
next time I might actually have alcohol instead of iced tea.
yeah, maybe we could pick like a Friday or a Saturday where we could just have like a
Saturday night, that'll work.
raise round table. Let's go. Let's do this.
Saturday night is my Friday at work, so we can
Oh,
do it.
yeah. We'll have to
Sounds
figure
like a
something out.
sounds like a plan.
All right, Lovey. I want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you so much. I love you. I love what you do for all of us. And please,
Thank you.
everybody, go to Flumeri Promotions. Check their page out, RTL Paranormal. And share this out, please, not for Paranormal Brew, but share it out for Ray and Flumeri Promotions, the locations that they try to help out, and all the good that they try to give back to the community. That is why I want it shared out, not for myself. Share it out so that people see and know where to go to find a good I don't know if you want to be called an event company, but a good group to latch onto, to follow around and go to their events and, participate and give it back. Because listen, you become a part of that location's history.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter if you're going somewhere, even if it's a free open door and you're there, but you're there for a purpose to help raise awareness for historical locations, whatever. Even if the tickets are $20, $30 for, you're still becoming a part of that location's
But
history.
also, before we go, don't
Yeah.
just come to the historic locations just for the ghost hunt, because they have great programs during the day as well.
Or yeah.
And it's a lot more, depending on what locations, it's a lot more beautiful during the daytime than in the pitch dark.
And yeah,
But
listen, even doing the hit walk through history tours, you can experience something because you never know when it's going to happen.
yeah, the $20 admission fee just to walk around the premises helps them a lot. You have no idea
Absolutely.
how much it helps the historical locations. So,
Yes,
love you. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
you. Mwah. Love you. Can't wait to see you next.
You mean like October, right?
Yeah, like October.
All right, Bob. I'll see you.
You have a good night, sir.
You too. I love you.
Love you too. Mwah.
You got-
That was great. I love Ray. Please go check out Flumeri Productions. I'm sorry, Promotions, Flumeri Promotions, and RTL Paranormal. Go to their pages, like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. Share it out. Share their events out. Attend. Help out. They're a good group to latch onto. And with that, I am going to say goodnight to you all. Thank you so much for joining us on Sunday. I will see you guys Wednesday.